This is my saltwater fish tank. So we'll have a little tour here. In my saltwater tank, I have corals. These are blue mushrooms. These are small polyp corals. This is called a brain. There's some more mushrooms. That's called a sun coral or a sun torch coral. That's called a black sun coral. And the ones waving around here, these aren't sea anemones, these are corals. They're called frog spawn corals. This is called a bubble coral. There's some more polyp corals. Some more green polyps. And this yellow one here, this one's from Australia. I don't really know the name of it, but it's doing really well. That one back there is called an orange crush coral, also from Australia. And the fish you see there is called a red hawkfish. He's looking at me, he thinks he should have some food. This is an elegance. And this one here is a large soft coral. And the one up there is called a leatherfinger. So I have some fish in here too. That's a black and white clown loach. Kind of like a cousin to Nemo. And there's a regular clown loach, or sorry, clownfish. The yellow one there is a yellow tang. And this guy looking at me here, who's purple and yellow, that's called a golden gram. The one who's swimming around in the back, hopefully he'll come back here in a minute. There he is, that's called a Christmas wrasse. And this one here is called a spotted hawkfish. We call him Jerome, that's his name. Looking down here, this is a sea urchin. And if we look, if we're really lucky, we look really carefully and I zoom in, you can just see their tentacles, but there's some shrimp living in there. And they're called cleaner shrimp. So there's a black spiny sea urchin on the back. And somewhere else in here, there's one more. Oh, there he is. He's up here. So that's called a Halloween urchin because it's orange and white and black. It's a little bit hard to see, but it is a Halloween urchin. And that's what they call it. See if I can zoom in for you. There we go. So I don't have a lot of fish in my tank because I like to give them room to move around. This tank is 250 US gallons and it weighs just over a ton when it's full. So you can see there's lots of rock in here, and the rock is where the bacteria live that are good for the fish and help the cycle to break down waste and make oxygen for them. And we keep the water moving back and forth just like in the ocean by using a wave maker on the side there, and it pulses out the water so that you can see the corals moving. It's probably a little bit hard to see it in the video, but the water is moving. Now corals are not plants, they're animals, and they need food just like you and I, and they need light to grow. So up top we have to simulate the sun. So that's the sunlight that is on. Those are special bulbs that simulate sunlight for the coral and the fish and the bacteria and all sorts of other things. Most of the coral you see in my tank is either from Australia or Hawaii. I try to stay in that region because that coral is usually collected in an environmentally friendly manner. It's sustainable, and I like to keep things that are are easy to grow. There's another one from Australia. I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it though, but he's kind of neat. Now underneath we have all sorts of pumps and skimmers going on. If you look here, you can see the pump. So the water comes down these tubes out of the tank and it goes into this sump where it's filtered. That's a skimmer that skims off protein, extra protein in the water. And those white bags are filter socks. And basically the water just moves through here. There's a piece of rock in there for some bacteria to live in. And the water just basically moves through here. We have a thermostat to heat it because these fish like to be kept fairly warm, about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And so the water comes out of the tank over the sides through those black, you can see where it's going up and down, and it runs down through there, down through the pipes and into the tank, and it's filtered, and then the skimmer takes the protein out, and then it comes back down and it exits back into the pump, and the pump pumps it back up into the tank. We also have to make sure that the tank doesn't get too warm in the summertime because of the lights. So for that we have a chiller, and it helps to cool the water when it gets a little bit too warm. So this is a saltwater aquarium. It's pretty different from a freshwater aquarium. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy working with it. This tank's been up and running for about 4 years now, I guess. And there's always something to do in there, always something to clean or someone to take care of or anything like that. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Bye bye.